Spitfire Furniture Sports and GT Race #1. All different kinds of vehicles out there, from Ligiers, Porsches, Spillbeams, Nissan 350s, Junos, Mazda Lotus 7s, Opel Birkins, you name it, it's all out there. One that is not there is Captain Peter van der Spey, our Golf Jet pilot, backslash iRacer, backslash party man from Cape Town. Peter, good day to you. Pity we don't see you out there, but I suppose that's not all bad news. There's a lot of good news linked to the non-showing of your vehicle today.
Well, yes, you know, we've got to give the other guys a bit of a go, you know.
Oh, fair's fair.
I didn't want to come out here
after crashing them in the 9 hour.
Absolutely, we beat them all in the 9 hour, and we're going to focus this year on the endurance series. So we've decided not to do this race because we're busy with some mechanical upgrades on my Juno, and also going to be concentrating on the endurance series. Which they've moved, unfortunately, from Cape Town, from Killarney to Swartkops. So that meant that, you know, if we wanted to go up there and do the curtain raiser at the 9 hour, it would basically take 2 weeks out of our program, and that's, you know, that's just too much.
That's a lot of party time that you.
That's a lot of party time.
That's a lot of party time.
So we're just going to keep it here, and but I'm looking with great interest on this race because we've got Patemba in there that's come out of the blue and done a cracking 108.8. I mean, I'm flabbergasted at that time, actually.
All time ever around here, 106.4, I think, which was Stewie White.
Stewie White, yeah.
And then somebody showed me this morning there was somebody within 0.3 of a second of that as well. Can't remember who it was, but I mean, that is the all-time ever since the track has been in this format. So Mikhail, should I say, Patemba on a 108.8. That's just before takeoff speed. You'd understand that terminology.
I know, yeah. That's rotate. Quick. That's rotate V1 speed there.
You turn it upside down, it'll take off.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally. Yeah, they come towards the line now as the pace car moves off the circuit. Mikhail Patemba, David Jabé, Francois Carruthers, Sandro Bakari in there as well. Let's see how they come off the line. Peter, take us down to turn number 1.
Patemba again, and David Jabé is in there with looks like Steve Humble on the inside, and Sandro just behind him, which I think is going to be the front runners. Watch those front runners. It's going to be between the tin tops and Darby and a bunch of these Lamar cars, these flat Junos and Ligiers, and Patemba is just flying off again, and I think the only way you're going to catch him is if he makes a mistake, and let's just see how it goes.
Yeah, no, look, there's no doubt that car driver combination is just next level. Mikhail Patemba in the Ligier JS53 Evo 2 as opposed to David Jabé in the Porsche 911. David Jabé looks like he's got a new lease in life in terms of iRacing and also out here on circuit. He's just smiling again and living it and loving it.
You know, David, you know, in the last year he's been jumping around between Ferraris and all sorts of Lotuses and incredibly fast cars, but he is now back into a Porsche. He was always one of the best drivers in a Porsche, and he's certainly giving the guys a go, and it's so nice to have him back. It really is.
Well, here comes Mikhail Patemba as he comes across the line. 1 minute 12 from a rolling start to 1 minute 12.553 at 17.4 for David Jabé. Francis Carruthers, the second car coming through there in Class A. So David Jabé leading out Class A from Francis Carruthers. Sandro Bakari leading out Class B. Pretty much as we expected, Sandro Bakari going to be pretty quick this year. He's also taken over, Peter, the reins for Sports and GT West Province Sports and GT Masters on iRacing in the place of Dr. Mike Verrier, and he's actually running that whole series right now. Running slow, coming out of turn 2. One of the cars.
Looks like Sandro.
Oh dear, that's not good. It went so well up until that point, so it looks like Sandro has pulled it off onto the rallycross circuit, and that's the last that we're going to see of that one. Mikhail Patemba is up, dusted and disappeared. He's taken the better part of a full length of the back main as he goes through Pertamina Fastron Cape Town corner. Goes through the corner, comes out into the front main. He's going to go through underneath the Wingfield Motors City of Cape Town Bridge. Let's see what he does. It was a 112.551. He wraps that one down Oh, well, it looks like it didn't actually. Oh, 109, 171. But here comes the second place battle. Look at this. David Joubert holding on to that position from Francis Carruthers. Nothing much between the two of them as they come through. And I think that Class A battle is long gone from finished.
Now there comes Darby in again. I think that is that Steve Humble that's trailing behind Darby. Francis Carruthers.
Yeah, that's Francis Carruthers in there behind David Joubert. And then in behind that is Kenneth Pearson. He's the first of the Class C class. Then we've got Clinton Thorne, the next man that's coming through. And he just got past Yanni Hatsi. So Yanni Hatsi dropping one position, but still second in Class C ahead of Divan Lismore. That's that iconic Nissan 350Z that's out on circuit. What a pity we lost out there on Sandro Bakari. And bit of background on Sandro Bakari, been involved with motorsport for so many years.
You know, he has, and he's always been a Juno guy as well, you know, like myself now at the moment, and but he's been driving a hell of a lot longer than I have, and of course he's been so long in the game of iRacing that, you know, I think I was barely around, still in nappies when he was still then doing iRacing, and he's so good and he's so consistent, and he really does. The rules, there we go again. They may swap places again.
Well, David Joubert is really putting a lot of pressure on there, no doubt about it. David Joubert and Francis Carruthers, nothing much between them.
Yeah, that's going to be a good race, but I think at the end of the day, you know, that Francis should get away, but that Porsche is so quick down the straights, and Darby is such a little fox at the end of the day, and he just sits patiently and waits for Francis to make a mistake, and look, both cars are equally quick around the track at the moment. I think Darby's slightly quick. I think they're doing roughly the same times, but for me, the Tambo is just where that comes from. That's incredible talent.
But I think that car is also inherently next level as well. Looking at the Class C battle, Yanni Hatsi from Divan Lismore, Nissan 200SX from the iconic Nissan 350Z. Yanni Hatsi, another man, started off, the first time I got to know about him was with a hill climb with Kwesi Swanepoel. And Yanni Hatsi just cleaned up with the Nissan at that point. Wasn't that much longer, and we saw him out on the circuit, and he did 1 or 2 races. All of a sudden, he was there full time. And I think Yanni Hatsi is now dialed in more into main circuit racing and doing a brilliant job out there. He works his way down the back main, down towards turn number 5.
Yeah, Yanni Hatsi is really, it's so nice of him to come and join us. And Divan Lismore has been doing incredibly well with that Nissan. That car really goes, you know, for what it is. It's incredibly quick, and I'm not.
Well, Yanni Hatsi, when he came past us now, it almost sounded like he missed the gear, but when he got the hammer down, you could see it was all hooked up and going. So let's have a look at the different classes. Pitamba in a class of his own, not only on paper, but also in terms of pure pace out there. And I think that the Class A Joubert from Carruthers and Thorne, nothing much between the three of them, although Thorne has dropped a little bit off at this stage of the fight. I don't think that it's going to get any closer than I think they're actually going to open up. Yanni Hatsi finds himself 6th overall, leading Class C, but a lovely Class C battle. Yanni Hatsi and Nissan 200SX, then the McLaren MB5 in there behind that of Kenneth Pearson, also Class C. Divan Lismore, also Class C in the Nissan 350Z, and then the VW Hardini of Gavin Gorman. Now, Gavin Gorman, another man that's been around in this class forever.
Yeah, he has, and looks like who was that slid out there? Was that Francis Carruthers?
I think it's Francis Carruthers that had a bit of a moment coming out of turn number 2. Yep, here comes the first of the Nissans in there behind Carruthers, and well,
it's Darby.
It looks like it. Yes, that's the 911 Porsche of David Joubert. It's great to see somebody like David Joubert that at his age still so passionate and into it. And I think he's one of those people that's giving a lot back to motorsport now in the latter years.
You know, David Joubert is an incredible race driver. I mean, he's got the perfect physical shape for that too. He's like a half pint.
A bit more than 2 six-packs on top of one another.
Yeah, and my six-pack's still in the cooler box there.
I just invested in a bigger cooler box so you can't see the six-packs. Four more laps to go as they work their way around Mikhail Pitamba, the class act of the day, but that's not where it all starts and ends. The iconic sounds of Derby Jaber's Porsche 911 comes through underneath us. Down into turn number 1 he goes. And, well, the two Nissans are nose to tail once again.
I think, again, that's Derby with the Nissan has just gone past the Nissan there. And but he's slowly catching up now to Francis. You know, that little slide that Francis
ran it very, very wide. Did David Jaber in the apex of turn number 2. Yes, I think he is pushing to try and make up the gap. Realizes there's only 4 to go. Got to push it pretty hard. Mikhail Pitamba, 109.1 fastest lap around the circuit. He's just busy having fun out there, doing what he does best and making it happen. The Class D, the 23 car leading out, that's Eric Sellerman, a man that's been around for decades in this form of motorsport, from Ray Farnham, and Connor Kilbride is the next one in the Class D from Simeon Penev. So, and there's also Henny Bosman that's in there in Class D as well. So a fair amount of Nissans making their moves around the circuit today. Nice to see them breaking in here. A couple of the big hitters that did not make it out today, but it is the first meeting of the year for 2023 being brought to you by Wingfield Motors in conjunction with the City of Cape Town, and helping out to bring Kalani International to the levels that they are. Jan Klim, Steve Humble, Sandro Bakari, and Paul Beachyhead not in it anymore. Pretty that Steve Humble in the Opel Mallock Mark 114B is not out there, because he would be right up top, not with Mikhail Pitamba, but very much in there with Joubert, Carruthers, and Thorne.
You know, I want to say something about Henny Bosman. He's been the most incredibly consistent guy, and as you know, last year he won the championship in Class D. Also the most consistent driver, and he's out there, and he's there every race. He's just had both his knees replaced 6 weeks ago, so it's his first time back in the car.
Maybe his right foot feels heavy.
I tell you, you know, what a tough guy. I mean, it's just one of those, like, the highest karate guy in the country. He's an 8th or 9th dan. He's got the biggest karate school in Africa. He's got just on 1,000 students.
Wow!
And he's there every single day, and he's in it. He's in that swimming pool every day. He's on the karate floor every day. I mean, he's one of the strongest, biggest, meanest men. And yeah, he's racing this beautiful little Lotus. And he's so consistent enough to actually won the championship for last year.
So even though that's his professional career, he's still got his ducks in a row and make sure he makes it here on a Saturday.
Yeah, I love it.
Hell yeah. 2 to go for Mikhail Pitamba, leading out the Class S, the only Class S car out there. Class A is going to be a brilliant one through the course of this season. Humble, Joubert, Carruthers, and Thorne are the main guys that's going to be out there in that Class A battle. Yanni Hatsi leading out with that Class C from the Person, Lismore, Gorman, and the Trollop. And then we see a Salomon that's leading out the Class D battle from Ray Farnham, another man that's synonymous with, I mean, he's here every single meeting. He never misses out on anything. Quietly just moves around between everybody, smiles and waves, and concentrates on his racing. He talks with a steering wheel and an accelerator.
Absolutely, another Mr. Consistent. Is here every day, every race meeting. And you can always count on him to be in the race.
Mikhail Pitamba on the very last lap, going up towards turn number 2 is Mikhail Pitamba. And that Ligier JS53 Evo 2 has not missed a beat, not missed a gear whatsoever. He's got a rather large gap between himself and second place out there. Joubert is quite fine at this stage of the fight with the Porsche 911. Francis Carruthers, why did I not see Francis Carruthers on the last lap? He's dropped a long way back. Where's Francis Carruthers? That's strange. He did 1 minute 19 as opposed to the 1 minute 13. 7 seconds slower. There he comes through now. 7 seconds slower on the last lap. So definitely starting to encounter some problems there. Clinton Thorne will be coming through in the not too distant future to complete his lap. Yanni Hatsi, I think, will be pretty chuffed with how this one has gone, having taken 6 seconds out of Lismore. That's a pretty decent gap, and here comes our man across the line. Mikhail Pitamba has taken the win. Second through is Steve Humble, and we wait for David Joubert to come through. Here he comes now. Here comes Davy Jabé. That's first and second in Class A. Steve Humble from Davy Jabé. They come across the line. Francis Carruthers still on his way down the back main. So it's all gone totally pear-shaped for Francis Carruthers towards the end of this one. See, Clinton Thorne, Yanni Hatsi, Divan Lismore and Gavin Gorman have completed their races. They were one lap down. They're doing around about the 1 minute 20s as opposed to the 1 minute 12s of the frequent flyers further back in the pack. Here they come up towards the line now. A couple of those open wheelers. And Henny Trollope, Eric Salomon, Ray Farnham comes through. Francis Carruthers comes through eventually in Class A. Third in Class A overall. So Class A, Steve Humble from Davy Jabé, Francis Carruthers, and then Clinton Thorne. The leading Class B car, the only Class B, Sandra Bakari, standing next to the car, looking at it with not a big smile on his face. He fails to see the funny side of that one. The Class C battle was eventually Yanni Hatsi all the way to the line from Divan Lismore, Gavin Gorman, Henny Trollope, and then Class D, Eric Salomon, the old hand, coming through ahead of Ray Farnham, Connor Kilbride from Henny Bosman, and then Simeon Ponev coming through behind that. So, well, the man that didn't make it through to the end, Kenneth Pearson, Paul Beach ahead, Sandra Bakari, and Jan King in the Ford GT40 not making it out on circuit. Peter, closing word from your side. Great to see you up here. Spitfire Furniture's Sports and GT race number 1. Closing word from you.
I am very impressed to see the number of cars on the grid today, and I'm really got a lot of hope for this series for this year. And I'm really very chuffed with Davy Jabé, the only Porsche on the circuit this time. And that he was waiting patiently to